So, Jordan, thank you so much for joining me on the Brew for Success podcast.
My pleasure.
So if you firstly just like to introduce yourself, I mean, most people probably already know who you are because you're pretty much the face of artists on all social media. But yeah, just who you are, what is it you do, and the division you work in.
Yes, my name's Jordan. I'm a recruitment consultant in the contract civil team in our Doncaster office.
Yeah, cool. And how long have you been with us now? Like 2 years?
18 months now.
18 months.
18 months, yeah.
Cool.
Feels like longer. But
yeah, it feels like you've been here many years now. But yeah, so been with us 18 months then. So what did you actually do before you joined us? Were you doing recruitment before? Like what just give us a little bit of a background as to your experience and what you were doing.
Yeah, so it was totally massive career change for me really. I was site based at the time when I started here.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was in like building surveying, land surveying, that kind of thing. So yeah, like using your total stations, things like that.
Yeah.
So complete change. Change. Yeah, I'd never done any kind of sort of sales before.
Yeah.
So it was big change.
Yeah, definitely. So what kind of made you want to completely change careers then? Because I suppose it's sort of similar to Hannah in a sense, because obviously she was a plasterer and then now she's like managing consultant. So yeah, how did you kind of get from A to B?
Well, I wanted to have a bit of a change really, and look at a lot of different careers, and you have to have sort of get degrees, or you've got to have so much experience in like training. And at the age I was, I couldn't go back to sort of full-time education or anything like that. And I know a lot of people who have worked in recruitment, and they've all talked really highly of it. So, I thought I'll have a go at that. It sounds something I could get really into. I could really enjoy and
give it a go, see what it's like. Okay, interesting. So, with you being here now for, like say, 18 months, you've done the role for, coming up to 2 years. So I feel like you've probably got a good sort of experience to sort of answer this question. But what would you say then is like the biggest eye-opener to recruitment from say somebody who hasn't worked within the industry, you join the industry like yourself? What was kind of the biggest eye-opener for you?
It's a weird one, that, because it was something I was warned about, but it still shocked me, and it was like the pace of it.
Okay.
Like how fast paced it is. Like everybody said, it's really fast paced is recruitment, like it's go all the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I'm ready for it. And then I started here, I was like, wow, that's really fast. Even though everybody told me about that, it was still a bit wow. Like
you can't really take the foot off the gas, can you really, with this sort of job?
You can't, no. Like you'll talk to other people in totally different jobs, and they might say, Mondays are always a bit quiet, and Fridays it sort of dies off a bit. But from first thing Monday morning to last thing on a Friday here, it's absolute full tilt.
Flat out.
Get anything that you can do done.
Yeah. Okay. And that was sort of the biggest eye opener for you then when?
Yeah, I think it was. Like I say, weirdly, because I was warned about it, but it's I don't want to say warned. Like it makes it sound like it's really bad, but it's people said like be aware that there's no like quiet period. Even if the market's quiet, you still have to be busy. Yeah,
definitely. And I think as well, people might also have that sort of misconception that because it's in an office, sort of your typical office jobs maybe, like you say, do have quieter periods where, like I say, on a Monday or a Friday, it kind of dies off a little bit, or, even just sort of fluctuates for sort of like periods within the year. Mm-hmm. But I suppose, like you say, it's always, foot on the gas, go, no slowing down, got to keep up the pace.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, if you've got like your little admin tasks that need doing, like in other jobs, you'd think, I'll do that on a Monday, it'll be quiet. But here, you've got to just squeeze them in, and you will have to squeeze them in because you will be busy all day, every day.
Yeah, sort of nature of it, I suppose. Okay. Gonna throw it out there then. Biggest recruitment ick?
Biggest recruitment ick?
And that could be, to sort of give you context, that could be something that, maybe a candidate or a client does that gives you the ick, or maybe one of your colleagues, or just sort of the industry in general. Like, it can be broad.
I think mine would have to be, and I know everyone tweaks it a little bit, but severely lying on your CV.
Yes.
It infuriates me.
Yeah. Have you got any examples of where somebody has severely lied on their CV? Any that sort of springs to mind, or is there plenty?
I'm trying to think of one that I can tell you about, really. There's been a few that are the same, but you know, we'll get like a roll through from a client, and you'll have a search, there'll be CV there, you think, oh, like they look perfect.
Yeah.
You go, have you ever done this? Yeah. Have you ever done this? Yeah. And you start to think, you're just saying yeah to anything I'm asking now. So I think, oh wait, when did you do this? I've done it. That's not what I asked.
Yeah. Give me a live example, please, and thank you.
Yeah, and it's like you enjoy it, but at the same time, it's wasting your time. You have to sort of pull people apart like that and just make sure.
Yeah.
Because some people, they will have done what you want, but they're just not very good at talking on the phone, which is fine.
Yeah.
They're whatever they are. They don't need to be good at on the phone.
Yeah.
But it's when you start trying to pull it apart and you see this glittering
holes.
CV, you just start to fall apart. It's like, thanks for your time.
You thought you had a unicorn, but really you've got like a little old donkey that's on its last legs.
Like in the back of your mind, you're thinking, oh, I only got this role this morning, I'm going to have it filled by this afternoon.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, that dream's died as quickly as it started.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think that would be my line on your CV, just tell the truth.
Yeah, honesty is the best policy at the end of the day.
It is.
Okay, weirdest or strangest thing that's ever happened to you whilst you've been in the job?
The weirdest or strangest thing? There's been a few.
It's just the day in the life of John, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's never a straightforward process with me. I think it's sometimes, you know, the way candidates have been when they've got into the job and things like that.
Okay.
Reasons for not taking jobs and things like that, which some I can probably tell you, some I probably can't.
Okay.
I think it's just sometimes the phone calls you get and you think, is this for real? And like I won't go into detail, but some people go into their personal opinions on things, and you're a bit like, yeah, me and you probably wouldn't get along outside of this. Yeah. And you think, we've never met, you don't know me, and you're that open with me. I'm not sure I want you to go into this job.
Yeah,
so if you're going to turn up to the office and talk like that, then it's a bit like,
if you're going to be open about that with me, then what are you going to be saying to your boss on your first day?
Exactly, yeah, because they are a representative of us, aren't they? Like,
yeah, 100%.
You know, we're going to the client saying we've screened this guy and we've interviewed
and they've paid for them.
They've paid money for them, so it falls back on us if there's something like that happens. So I think that would that's always weird when they talk like that.
Yeah, and sort of following on from that question then, what's the most like strangest, does that make sense? What's the strangest reason that a candidate has given to you as to why they've either not shown up to the interview or they haven't taken the offer?
So I had it wasn't that the reason was strange, it was just that it was immediately caught lying.
Okay.
So it took quite a while to get this candidate the role, and there was a lot of sort of hurdles that he needed to get over to get in with this company, which you want to see. You don't want to see a company just taking on somebody for the sake of it. But then, the day before, called me up, I'm not going to take it. Oh, can I ask why? Just personal reasons, not going to take it. Tried to sort of say, if you talk to me, we can maybe sort something out. If we have to push the start date back or whatever, no, I'm just not going to take it. Fair enough. And then, so I had to find somebody else for it. But then the week later, the previous guy's CV came up in my search on a job board.
Right.
And he'd started somewhere else.
Okay, so he was just wanted to back out, but really taking another job.
Yeah, and I know it's you don't want to let people down, but I'd rather, again, just be honest.
Yeah.
If somebody rang me and said, I've just got cold feet, I've changed my mind. I'd rather they did that than spin me round, because they were a good candidate with a good CV, but now I wouldn't approach them again.
Yeah.
Whereas if they'd have just said, look, this role's come up and it's better, fair enough.
Yeah.
That happens.
Enjoy your new job, mate. Do you know
that's
what I mean?
it, and then maybe like a year or two down the line, if it came up again, I'd ring him and say, how's that going? Because something's come up that you'd be a fit for, but I wouldn't do that now, because I wouldn't trust him to go.
Yeah, never burn your bridges, because firstly, it's a small world.
It really is a small world.
Everyone knows everyone in some weird way, shape or form. Mm-hmm. And also, like you say, you never know when your situation's going to change. Like, he or she might have got that new job, but then, in a month's time, they've been made redundant or they hate that job, and then like you say, you're not going to want to speak to them again because they've done you over. So
I've had that before. I've had people like block my number after an interview because they don't want the job, and then a couple of weeks later, just wonder if you've got anything on because I've like my contract's coming to an end.
You've just blocked me.
Well.
Look who's back. Honestly, it is surprising and it is shocking how many people actually do that, and they think that it's normal and that you're just going to welcome them back with opening arms. Like,
it happens more often than you think.
No, hun, sorry, I'm not. Jog on.
Yeah.
In a bit, get on your bike.
Yeah, you almost want to find somebody that they're friends with and like, get them into it. Just this. You could have been working with me.
Yeah.
I could have got you into a job.
100%, 100%. So, this is a new question. This question has never been asked before, George. So,
I'm nervous now.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
So, if you could switch roles with anyone else in the company, who would it be and why?
Am I allowed to say Jim?
Of course you can. He works at the company.
Yeah, probably Jim then.
Jim. Why Jim?
I think just being able to see sort of every aspect of the place, you know, and having that sort of, not control, I mean it does, but you know,
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
Being able to sort of see every level
see it
of
from a
what's
different angle. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, I'd like to just. I mean, it would probably be too much for me within like an hour.
Yeah, I've had enough.
Yeah, can I go back to what I was doing?
Can I just be a consultant again, please?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, but I think it'd be interesting just to see
good insight
the things that I don't see at my level.
Yeah, 100%. No, I do agree. I think it would be, like you say, just interesting to see it from a completely different perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah. To be fair, I was thinking of who I would say for that question. I was just thinking of Laura Marr because of the commission. To be honest with you.
But, just in a car. Yeah. That's a good one as well.
Yeah. But no, I do think that'd be cool. So, if you could describe your job in only emojis, what would they be? We'll say 3 emojis, just so it doesn't get too...
3. So the first one's like the open mouth smiley face. I'm not going to do because I look weird with like an open mouth smile. But that
like
one.
the really happy smiley face.
Yeah, and then after that it'd be, you know, that one that's like it's kind of smiling, but if somebody sends you it, it's a bit like, I know you didn't, you're not actually smile. You know, that sort of
just... Is that the smirky one where it's like...
It's the tiniest little smile. It's just like a little... Thanks anyway. That kind of smile.
We will insert these onto the screen so we know exactly what we're on about.
That little sort of fake smile, like I'm all right.
Half smile. I'm holding it together, but I'm struggling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it'd be the fire emoji, just because of the pressure.
Yeah.
The heat and the pressure.
Yeah.
But like the massive one, you know, like when you hold it down, sometimes it does a huge one.
Oh yeah.
That
I
one.
only just learnt about this actually the other day. Shelley, surprisingly, because you know she's older than me, showed sorry Shell.
Keep that in.
Yeah, I will. That when you hold down a text as well, you can also sort of put different, I don't know what the word is, but you can send it so it'll be like big and it like flashes across the screen, or there's like a pew pew one and it sends like laser beams on the screen.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
And I got caught recently with the FaceTime one. You know, if you do a thumbs up on FaceTime, the emoji will come up.
Yeah, it does it on Teams as well.
Does it?
Yeah, it does it on Teams. Whenever I'm speaking with Dan, like sometimes he won't even put his thumbs up, but it thinks that he's got his thumbs up, and it'll be like.
Ooh.
So yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to remember that next time I'm in a meeting.
In a serious one, just keep your hands down and don't wave them around.
Serious face.
Yeah, that's it. But I like the fire emoji one because that could also be applied to like, if you're doing really well as well. It's like you're red hot, like you're on flames.
Yeah, I think
like
at any time in recruitment, the fire emoji is relevant.
It is. It can be, you know, it's just applicable to so many different scenarios. Do you know what I mean? Like you can have a really crap time and think, do you know what, burn me.
Yeah.
Just set me on fire.
Yeah.
I feel like crap. Or if you're absolutely having like an absolute flyer of a week, you'd be like, I'm on fire. Don't touch me.
Yeah, it fits in whenever.
Yeah.
Anytime,
100%.
Monday to Friday.
100%. Okay. So, if you could recruit for a job in the medieval times, what would it be?
In the medieval times?
Yeah, I kind of struggled with this question as well. you want me to give you some examples?
Yeah, because I don't really know what people are up to about then.
Yeah. you were still, well, no, you weren't in your mum's tummy at that point. You were just.
I know I'm a bit older than you, Lily.
Yeah. Yeah. So you've got I was actually thinking of this on the other day. An executioner. Is it an executioner? When they used to behead people.
I wouldn't like to recruit for them, or I'd struggle to get to sleep knowing that.
Yeah, and I don't think they'd be very nice people to talk to. Like, you've got to be a bit tapped in the head to want to be.
Yeah, I couldn't like service call them. Like, I couldn't ring up like a week later. How's it going? How are you getting on? Is it what you thought it'd be?
Stop! Oh my god!
Been busy. Watching the pipeline.
We had an Amber Lynn last week. Yeah, sound mate. Job's going to a flying start.
Yeah, I was next week looking, got a lot in the pipeline. Yeah, I got this thief.
What project she got coming up?
Yeah, I couldn't have that conversation.
Oh my god, literally gonna choke. Yeah, no, that would be not a very nice job to recruit for.
No.
You've got a jester.
I feel like I could do that.
Like,
Whether
you
I
could be a jester yourself, to be quite honest with you. Like, you're such a funny guy, so yeah.
It'd probably be that because I could relate to them more.
Yeah.
Just not very serious.
Yeah.
I could, yeah, I think so.
A jester, yeah.
Jester, but I feel like everyone was either a jester or a baker back then, or a knight of some kind.
Yeah, a knight, yeah, or a javelin thrower. Is that one?
Jousting.
That's it, jouster. Yeah, jouster.
Yeah. Again, a bit violent for me that. But
blacksmith. Yeah, blacksmith. I feel like it's a bit of a easy, placid, like easygoing job. The only thing with a jester is, if you was, when you're screening them, I wouldn't know if they're being serious or not. Do you know what I mean? You know, you were saying about people lying to you. I feel like they'd be constant liars.
Yeah, there'd be a lot of that in the jester market, wouldn't there?
A common trend amongst the jesters.
Yeah, something to look out for with jesters. The lie on the CV.
No, I feel like they probably would.
Yeah,
those little cheeky jesters, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like the little bells on the hats as well, don't they?
Yeah, but I think with an executioner, you'd know immediately when they walked in if they're going to be able to do it, wouldn't they?
Yeah, 100%. Like if they're really sort of like shy and introverted, you think.
Yeah.
But then again, it's always the quiet ones, isn't it?
It is.
So maybe they would be introverted people.
Could be, yeah. Could be.
Do you know what I mean? Just like keep themselves, just chop a few heads off per week. Do you know what I mean?
think you'd have to.
Don't really have to speak to anybody.
Well, yeah, the opposite. Yeah, you can't really talk to them, can you?
No.
You won't want to get attached to anyone. Yeah, you're not going to get attached to anyone,
no,
are you?
No, that's it. No attachment issues. So.
No.
Yeah. It's a tricky one.
Yeah, I think I'd go with Jester.
Jester.
I think I could relate more to them.
Yeah, I feel like it's probably a
I'd
safe...
be able to weed out the liars.
Yeah, a
those.
safe bet. A safe bet. Yeah, I agree.
All right.
Okay. One piece of advice then that you would give to future recruiters looking to get into the industry?
It would have to be, don't let bad things that happen in the job put you off it. Because that's just something you have to get used to.
Yeah.
I think that applies to most sort of sales roles, doesn't it? You know, you're not going to have a brilliant day every day.
No.
In fact, you'll have more bad days than good days.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
the good days are that good that they outweigh it.
Yeah, 100%.
But sometimes, I mean, you'll know it goes week on week. You will go through periods where you're feeling like I'm not getting anything. Yeah, I'm pushing against the wall here.
Yeah.
But then out of nowhere something will happen, and then you're back in the run then.
Yeah.
So I think perseverance. I'd say persevere.
Yeah.
Because it's when it gets good, it's amazing.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of times where you're like.
Yeah, draining.
Yeah.
But I think I said this to Laura, to be fair, when she was on it, that things can change so quickly. Like you can have a day when you've got CVs into roles, you're waiting for CV feedback, or you've had interviews and you're waiting for feedback, and you've like not really got any other like jobs, or you just kind of feel like a bit stuck in a rut, and then all of a sudden you can get to like 4:30 on a Thursday, and then you've got all your CV feedback, your 2 interviews, they love them both and they want to take them to final stage, and you're like singing and dancing again, and everything's really, really good. So
I've had it recently. I think it was like a Monday, and I think I dialed somewhere like 80 odd people and spoke to 3, and I was just like, there was barely any point in me coming in today. But then I came in Tuesday morning. The first person I called had a role that needed filling immediately, and I filled it that week.
Yeah.
So it's like,
don't quickly change it.
So, people could have gone home that Monday night and just thought this job isn't for me, and come in and said, I've had enough.
Yeah, just give up too easily.
Yeah. Don't give up. Just keep pushing.
Keep going.
You'd be surprised how quick it can turn around, like you say.
Yeah, 100%, definitely. And final question then, to wrap it all up. What is the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to you whilst you've been in the job?
I could tell you one that you might have to cut out, because it wasn't in the office.
What do you mean?
I fell through a table in a bar, didn't I? But I wasn't like leathered. It was one of those tables like this with one leg.
While you were here?
Yeah.
Why do you have to cut that out? You don't need to cut that out.
I don't know. I went to lean on the table and fell.
When was that?
End of quarter, Sheffield.
Was that when we went to Roxy's?
No. It was like an arcade game thing.
Oh, the one last year?
Yeah.
Oh really? I didn't know that happened.
Yeah. It was one of these with one leg in the middle, and I went to lean like right on the end of it, and I just went straight through it. Took the table with me.
Was that in the actual arcade then?
No, it was in like a little bar over the road.
Was it a furnace? I can't remember now. Or was it when we were at the botanist?
It wasn't.
It was like late on in the night. It wasn't early on. Okay, we'll let you off then.
Yeah, it was later on.
But you weren't drunk.
I was drunk, but I wasn't like
you weren't like
out
steaming.
of control.
Yeah.
No, that was really embarrassing. I don't think I've been here that long at that point either. So
no, you couldn't have been. I mean, that was when I'd just come back. So it was a year ago. It was for the April,
that was it. Yeah, it will have been. Yeah.
Yeah, it was for like the financial year end of quarter, wasn't it?
Yeah. That was how a lot of people found out who I was. I think that's how I introduced myself to a lot of people in this room.
I'm the one that fell from the table.
I'm him that made a.
Well, if it makes you feel better, Jord, I didn't even know that you did that, and I was there on the night.
Oh, well, everybody knows now.
So there you go. You've just outed it to the whole of whoever's watching the podcast.
Yeah,
so,
public knowledge now.
Love that. Well, again, thanks for joining me on the podcast, Jord. I think you've been an absolute pleasure. Funny stories shared across the way. But yeah, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Your outtakes
here. This chair broke like halfway through that, and I've been like holding myself up. Yeah.